I would love your quick thoughts on what baseball announced with its automatic balls and strikes coming in 2026. John was on the side of, yes, this is great and I'm super excited for it. Whereas I'm not so sure. I need a little bit more information because what is a strike zone? It's this imaginary box, which is open to arbitrary judgment. Where are you closer aligned? Which side of ABS? Are you super excited that it's coming and this is going to be a lot of fun for the game, or are you unconvinced?
I wouldn't say I'm super excited about it. I'd say I'm resigned to it. I mean, it was so obvious it was going to happen, right? So we all knew it was coming. There was never a doubt in my mind that this was exactly where we were going to be. Next season, it's clear that there is not widespread support for full ABS at this moment, although I would not be surprised if 10 years from now we're in a full ABS world. I'm just speaking totally as myself, and I do not believe what I'm going to say is sort of a mainstream view in any way. But as I sort of get older in life, I find myself sort of increasingly just sort of against all forms of replay in sports, like at all, like all of it.
This sounds familiar.
Maybe my patience is getting less. I'm just so not interested anymore in like sitting around waiting for replay challenges. And sort of on a more, philosophical level, right? I do sort of, again, increasingly as I get older, would not have had this view as a younger person, have this sort of thought of why do our sports have to be perfect, right? Like, should they be perfect? Is there something to be said about imperfection? If baseball is supposed to be this microcosm for life and teaches all these great lessons about life, well, life is imperfect, so maybe baseball should be too. And I know that's like, I'm getting very philosophical on you here, and I know not everyone feels this way, but there's part of me that's like, you know what? Let's just like go back to the old days with no replay. The problem is we have the technology, so I understand why we're going to use it. So I've just kind of accepted it. I'm glad that ABS challenge doesn't take very long. I understand people asking, well, if they have the technology, why don't they just use it for everything? I think it's a valid question, but I think the fact that they're not, and I think the fact that full ABS does not have support still tells you that people, fans, players, everybody still sort of value the imperfection to some extent. Like we're not ready to say goodbye to human umpires. I think there's a part of us that just kind of likes it and accepts that the game is not going to be perfect. So that's where I stand. I'm kind of rambling. I know this is, again, like so far beyond the scope of normal baseball conversation, but I'm just sort of okay with calls being wrong. I think also the other thing that bothers me, by the way, just as a little tangent on this, is knowing that the pursuit of perfection is not driven by this noble cause. It's because of gambling, right? Like the pursuit of perfection is clearly, undoubtedly because of gambling. And that also just sort of rubs me the wrong way on some level.
John was just about to jump in there and say so much of this is motivated by gambling, weren't you? Did I read your body language right?
Yeah, I was gonna say like this. These are the first shots fired in the eventual oncoming war between people who actually like sports and are fans of sports and people who are just gambling on it and are trying to make money off it. Because all three of us are aligned. We want less talk about the rules, less replay, more competitive action in front of us. We're here to be entertained. But yeah, say that in front of someone who gambles regularly and their brain will explode.
The next time we talk, we should just talk about gambling for 45 minutes.
Please.
My God, if you want to hear some takes, get me talking about gambling, and then I might get fired from my job afterward. But.
What are you doing tomorrow?
By the way, you're reporting on some of this stuff. John and I were talking about it earlier this morning. Your reporting on some of this stuff has been off the charts. I've really not seen this kind of reporting anywhere. When you were writing a little bit about some of those Cleveland players that find themselves on the suspension list, like that is especially in John's wheelhouse, because he always talks about these prop bets and the like, and you're reporting on that for anybody. I know we don't have time for it here today, but I've not seen that kind of reporting anywhere else, Jared. So good on you for having that stuff there for people to go and find at the Wall Street Journal website.
Thank you. I've added sports gambling to my coverage area for the last about 2 years. I took on sports gambling about 2 years-ish ago. Let's say I've been busy.
Yeah, and I think this is probably a worthwhile career choice too, to take on sports gambling, because you're going to have plenty to write about, I suspect, unfortunately, over the next decade plus or however long you're still in
No
this
doubt,
field. So.
but hopefully not during the baseball postseason, because I'm very excited about that.